Anyway, tonight we are trying to present P2 Studios in Kansas City with Paige Price and Genevieve Flynn.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Great. Thank you. This is Paige. The lady in red.
Hey, I miss you guys. Being COVID and not being able to travel to St. Louis is a bummer. So this is P2 Studios, and this is our community room. Cam Miller is my studio partner. And Sydney, hello. So we're going to show kind of what you can do in our studio. We can host any visiting artists if you ever want to do that. This studio here is just wide open so that you've got social distancing. You can rearrange the tables however you like. And we have a TV and a sound bar also. So, Chiefs game. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go into the equipment room, soldering room.
I can't hear.
You can hear, yeah.
You're too far away.
Oh, from Jenny.
Try it
Are
now.
you able to move your computer? Jenny?
Try it now.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Oh, okay. Okay, so this space we have where we have a burnout kiln and programmer. We have a vulcanizer. We also can do room temperature molds and mold making. I do that. And we also have the centrifuge and vacuum casting capabilities. And then Paige will talk about the soldering, and we have a lot of work tools and stuff that we bring out in the studio.
So what we've got soldering stations here that are not all quite set up, but we've got one going. Actually, we've got two that can go. And this has kind of been a progress. This building is a fallout shelter. It was built in the 50s. And this whole basement, except for just a little area of the office and the kitchenette, were here. So we'll tour kind of, you'll get the gist of our all our little art studios that are available too. So,
So then back here, we've got a lot of machines. Paige has acquired. We have a smaller enameling PMC kiln, the polishing machines, bending brakes, shear, vices, and I don't know what's locked up in the box, but there's also, we do die forming. There's our wax injector. We have a band saw. Lots of tools that we will have out or available for people to rent in the space if they'd like to rent by the hour to come in and work with some guidance, or there's private tutoring and little mini workshops, again, with COVID. So
we've got a bunch of different options on the website where you can come in and schedule by the hour in group hours or individual hours. And you can choose to be taught, like Sydney said, individually, or you can choose to be in a group setting. And all of the options are economically priced, as well as, I guess you could say bundle priced. So they can get to be very economical. We also offer specialty classes that will be things like chain making and specialized polishing and wire wrapping,
enameling,
stone setting, everything.
stone setting, yep.
Yeah.
casting.
The cats meow.
Ring design. And if we don't, we'll do specialty ones throughout. We will offer them. But there's also, if somebody has an idea, we've also had people come in and say, what about this? We're like, heck yeah. So we've never declined.
We've done
We've
a
never had
birthday
an idea
party.
we've had a decline.
We've done a lady's birthday party and they made rings and they had a good time. That was before COVID. So,
That was fun.
okay, and that's about it on the equipment room. We do have a big hydraulic press if anybody wants to learn how to do the hydraulic press.
Wow.
So we've just been accumulating equipment. And then Pam and I have a private studio. We have a kitchenette, but it's being remodeled. So just walk this way. We have a little area that people can have coffee, talk, have drinks, eating, whatever they want to do. And none of this existed before we did the construction. We're still under construction. We actually had some construction going on yesterday. So, and then Pam and I have our private studio. And this is where Pam and I work. And we either go to the equipment room and do work, or we do it here, or we'll do it in the big room. These are some pieces that I've done. You can tell I love enameling and kumbu. So enameling is a lot of fun. So I'll be teaching enameling classes. And Pam has some of her jewelry out that she has made. This is actually cast, and this one is reticulated silver. So we'll teach that as well.
Could you show that again, please?
Sure. And this actually twists off.
I love that part.
So I did this in full intentions of taking it off and putting different tops on it, but this is the only one I've gotten done so far. So pretty simple. If you want to show Pam's stuff, that'd be great. So you can kind of get an idea of what some of the classes we offer if you don't want to do your own custom piece. We'll form a class that, you know, we can teach you how to hammer.
I am sorry, but the dog actually didn't go out. I'm sorry. Do you want me to throw down the rope or whatever? Sure.
It's not muted. So we can offer, we do like offer chain making. So we can teach people how to specifically make the entire chain, stone setting. We teach people how to design. When we do our beginning classes, we don't expect anybody to know anything. So we teach them how to come up with ideas, how to put those ideas into perspective, and then how to figure out what materials and tools that they're going to need to make their project from beginning to end, and with not even ever having walked into a studio at all. So that's pretty fun.
We'll go back into the community room. Now, ladies, you know we staged this. We had to clean and do everything before this. Okay, we're ready to come back in here.
Go to this, should take a show. Oh, you want to
So-
Yeah.
So this, nothing existed here in this room. We had to do the walls And we did small art studios so that metalsmiths can come in and have their own art studio. They can use the community room. They can, use the lunchroom or the kitchenette and everything. And this is kind of what it looks like. So everybody has their own individual rooms. And then Sydney's is, we're going to highlight Sydney's room too.
The leash is right there.
Okay, hi. So,
It's really cold out there. You better wear a jacket.
okay, my name is Sydney Penner, and
Wind.
I been a metalsmith for a long, long time. It's been long. And I teach over at Johnson County Community College. It's been 21 years, and this is my private space. So you can see I have a lot of personal machines. So I'll put some of my work up, and then the notorious pegboard that I can't live without. I have a soldering area with a fume extractor. I think that's really important in this space. And my workbench, and if I need to do a little something bigger, I'll probably work out in the community space, or that I love that opportunity to spread out. And I teach my Girl Scout workshops and private workshops and stuff. I'll rent the space from the P2 Studios or Fallout Shelter from Paige. And yeah, so there's a little bit of my workout and lots of boxes of stuff that we all need for my work in here. This is a series of my crowns and some neck pieces that I've made through the years, and so. I guess so, just big questions and
Yeah, I don't know.
Q&A time. If yeah. I think he's just taking a little detailed shots in this video.
Good. It's 10 to 6, so
Okay.
we've got lots of time. Someone asked how long you've been here.
Okay, in this space here, we've been, the construction was not totally finished, but I would say in November. And we just got the soldering equipment in December. And the Fallout, we're calling the art studios that are available the Fallout Shelter Studios, or the Fallout Art Studios. So just for fun.
That's fun.
But you kind of got to see the studios. There was nothing there, just concrete floors. So that's what we had to do, is build all that
They
out.
built all the walls,
That's a lot.
everything. It just was open, I
This
guess.
was like one big open room.
Whoa. So did you work with an architect or?
No, my background's in interior design, so I did the working drawings.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many-
Bob and I met at JCC, and
Tell them what that is.
okay, JCC, I talk about it when I'm in St. Louis, Johnson County Community College, and that's where I met Pam. And then Pam and I started doing shows together, and then we wanted to be studio mates. So we had a small studio down the street. We were there for about 2.5, 3 years. And then we got the opportunity to do this building. And so the basement was wide open. And so we kind of formulated this group.
What's the square footage?
It's about 4,000 feet down here.
Oh my gosh.
And Sydney, Sydney and I met at JUCO as well, JCC.
Yeah, I think you
So-
took some of Pam Miller's class and then you started taking the credit courses.
Yeah.
To dive in deeper and you would take both. You take
Yeah.
continuing ed and as much as Paige could get,
A lot of
so.
our students do. They
Yeah,
go
they
back and
overlap.
forth. Yeah.
Well, Sydney's an instructor at
Yeah.
Yeah.
JCC.
So we all just, and Pam, yeah, she's been
Yeah, I
doing the
teach there
continuing
too.
ed,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
the metals and jewelry, silversmithing courses, so
Yeah.
we all just met there, really. I mean, and I know Paige, this was sort of her dream to offer a space and had invited me quite a few years ago, like, if you ever want to do some small workshops and rent the space, and it's really, I've been doing it for a long time, but I made it legitimate through like creating my own LLC, and so I could teach with with the community partner with the Girl Scouts. So
That's
this
what you
space
do.
is like
Good.
amazing. I'm just in hog heaven.
Either time I took her
All
out.
the time you were gone, she was laid off.
That could be the vaccines can make them lazy and, they don't feel so good. They don't feel so good. I'll walk her later. Boy, is it bad out there. Isn't that terrible?
Somebody needs to
We
turn.
don't even have converted it. Somehow they got this building with
People, if
they
you're talking with someone else.
rented or bought it, but they converted
we're
4,000 square foot
conversation
basement
that
into
maybe-
individual art studios and also common, Metalsmith studio with common areas where they could teach.
Who's talking?
This is in Johnson County. I don't even know where that is, but maybe it's Kansas.
It's right outside of Kansas City, just in it's like the
Right out of
next
Kansas City.
city from Kansas City. So,
Pat, I think we
We're
can.
about 10 minutes from Genevieve. Or 15.
Yeah, I'm just south of the plaza.
yeah, we're just pretty much just sitting right next to Kansas City. Like, I live in Kansas City, Missouri, right by the KU Med Hospital. State Line Road, I'm in Kansas 2 blocks.
Yeah.
And then I'm 12 minutes from here. So this is a really, really nice area and community. Just 10 minutes outside of the heart of, Midtown and the Plaza and Westport and downtown Kansas City. It's not probably like 15 minutes from the heart of it all. So it's really a fabulous location.
Pretty central.
And it's a safe area. It's a really nice, safe area. So.
I guess we're ready for questions if that's.
Sure.
If you guys have any questions, let us know.
This is Sherry Jade. How long has this project been, when did you start it? And
We started in March and COVID hit close to March. Yeah. And I got laid off at my job in August. And this was going to be a long-term, this was not going to be, I was going to be traveling and doing my job. And now this kind of jump started since COVID happened. This is now my new career on having the studios and stuff and teaching classes.
Lucky you. Congratulations.
I know, all time.
Thank you. It was a blessing, sort of,
Yes,
I would say.
Yeah, like, I guess I better go for it, right?
It made me do it.
Full time. COVID made her do this.
Exactly.
I mean, you were already planning it and the building came open and.
Yeah.
I
I had
think that's
wanted to,
great.
I had had this in kind of
Like a
in my
5-year plan.
mind for about
Yeah,
5
it
years,
Was.
but I wasn't gonna start it for another 5 years. But now we're
wow.
going full out, so.
Yeah, Faith took a hint. So how do you advertise it through the community college or, because that's a great resource for you to get students and participants.
Yes, and we also have a website.
Okay.
So, and since we're not, unfortunately, since the art fairs are kind of shut down, that was another way we were also advertising. And we've got a metals group here in Kansas City that will also advertise.
Oh, great.
I think we gotta
What's
get
your
folks
website?
on the ball with Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, we have a lot of word of mouth. I would say that the majority of the people that have been using the studio, whether it be here or in the past studio, have been my students, you know, and classmates of Paige's, for times that we don't, you know, in between the semester classes, or just for extra time. So a lot of it has been word of mouth.
That's the best.
This is Catherine Bowman. What is your website? What's your address?
It's under construction right now, where I had to do some updates because we're changing address and phone numbers and things like that. So if it's okay, can I post it?
Yeah. You can
Okay.
type it. by-
Pam is the
So I'll give it
tech
to you
person.
after, I'll send it to you tomorrow, if that's all right.
Do you know the address? Because she can let people know too on chat. Like she-
So it's P2Designs
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is not bad.
at
It's still-
P2Designs.net is what it is right
.net.
now, but
Well,
Yeah.
I hate to put a damper on anything, but I looked yesterday for P2 Designs and I saw a graphic design firm and an architectural firm, exactly the same name. I don't know if you're aware of that.
yes.
I did too, but I still found them.
You have to search a little bit. The reason why it's called P2 is Paige and Pam.
Yep.
Or Pam and Paige. So that's kind of how we arrived at the P2 name when we were doing the
You know, I
Westport Art Fair.
get that. That's not the issue. Firms that had the same name out on the internet.
Here, I got it up here.
Did you find it?
Well, no, but I posted it.
So it's P2.
Cool.
P2Designs.net.
Designs.
And studio.
I guess
Okay.
P2 Designs.
All right.
Designs.
Oh, dot
.net.
Mhm.
net. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Not .com. Okay.
We're
Right,
open to helpful hints that you guys have, since I'm kind of a newbie to this. You know, what would you guys suggest?
Do you want this?
What do you mean?
Oh, we're not sure. I mean, you said that you couldn't find us, so
I think it's the S.
it's probably the S
I
on
didn't-
design.
I just did a search and that's what I came up. Building your website, you haven't had enough traffic to be even able to get into Google. You know, you got to have traffic before you start coming up for people. So if you're just starting out, that's normal.
I typed in P2 Design jewelry because I tried P2 Design metalsmithing and that didn't come up.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started putting it all together, I noticed that too when I started putting in P2 after I would publish it, and then I would go back just on my phone or on my computer without plugging the whole thing in. I just wanted to just search it and see what it would come up with. And it did the same thing. There were like people, and like you said, there were architecture companies, and there was a movie. There were all these random things. Yeah, I was really surprised because when we searched the name, it was open for all copyright stuff. But
I would think you would want to pick another name or either put P222 or add something that makes you distinguishable from,
Metal and
Well,
This would be good.
when we chose the,
P2 Designs and Studio would set you apart.
Oh, okay.
oh yeah, change the whole web.
Yep, just
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I
No,
called
you
my
have to
place and it's not registered.
Fast.
Yeah.
TWOP''S, 2 P's.
Well, it
Maybe
actually, it started out to be P2,
See, when
like
we-
P squared,
So it is design.
but
Yeah,
you
so
can't
we're
do a
like-
square
Necessarily.
necessarily on the computer, on the email, or the web name. So that's why we did P2 instead of P squared. But if our logo actually is a square with a P inside with a 2 up above, meaning P squared. Any other questions?
I love the concept. It's great. How many people do you have renting so far?
So far, we've got 5 units rented, and we have a total of 10. We've got one of our artists is a painter, and so she's painting, but the rest of the group is metalsmiths.
That's fantastic. So you're 50% full already.
Getting close, yes.
In COVID, no less.
Yeah.
So,
Well, actually, 2 of our renters slash studio mates wanted their private studios because of COVID.
I was going to say it's a good place to go during COVID and after.
Mhm.
I think because the students were locked out of taking classes at the college, the idea of having a space, because they were kind of saying they were going stir crazy and like not able to always work at home, like didn't have the space to work at home. So I think it was just really something that was just really important to them, as well as just getting out of the house, to have somewhere to go and not the same space every day. And there was just a lot of limitations for the 2 students that are renting here, so they're happy to be here.
Paige, Rosemary said, it's a great idea. I believe there's a real need for metalsmiths that would like to rent their own studio space with the community area. So.
That was nice. Thank you.
Because no one knows where to go. I mean, there are no places to go, really, not many in St. Louis. You can take
to work?
Not as a community studio that I know of.
Yeah, having the ability, like you don't have to buy all the fancy rolling mills and where do you get stuff cast? Like if they have a project, I can work, we work with them. They can rent us to help rent the space. So, or, it's sort of a
Sydney and I helped one of her students to do a casting of a Cat Paw, which was a fantastic idea. She's going to put it on a silver box.
So basically, she was my student maybe like 10 years ago, and she cast a mold of her cat for a memorial urn. And so she had her other cat just passed away. So she's reached out to me on Facebook maybe a month ago, and she has a whole website for these special breed of cats. And so now she's like promoting it, that if someone wants to have a special like Cat Paw or made for their cats in memorial or to have. So she's cast it for the silver box, but of course the silver prices are outrageous right now. So we're trying to hold out and to buy the silver sheet so she can make it or I can make it. She's not decided. She's more stressed about it, so she might just have me make it. But we did the whole casting procedure, and then she went into my space. So we have video of it, of the first casting done ever in this space. So it was really exciting to actually just really have a client and a job and really utilize the casting facilities that Paige and I have sort of worked together to create. And so we're just kind of slowly making it happen. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited.
That's kind of how this whole thing started, was that there wasn't this kind of space really here, like a big, I don't know, kind of like not an after hours, but like when you have it at school, it's additional time.
Open studio?
Yeah, like an open studio. So there wasn't, and a place to go and buy materials right there. Everything is online. You have to just assume that the stone is going to be the color that it is online. And that's one of the things that, we didn't even say that we have materials. We have silver and copper and brass and wire and solder and other tools and things like that we have available here. So you can look at it, stones, and buy them.
For your projects, yeah.
Yeah, so that was one thing that it just
Yeah,
kind of
that's
just
it.
started
And I don't really
rolling
think,
out of it.
and there's
because-
no like casting, like facilities in any areas now in Kansas City or outside. So
Yeah.
I've had people like send me boxes or things they want and I'll cast them. Non is a local metalsmith and she's had me cast like, I think I've cast, like, I helped her make molds and then we cast them. It's like you have to send off to like, you know, Pennsylvania. I like John Paul casting. So, but now we can do that. You know, it's exciting to have that. And I think it's great for, like, especially for renters, they can rent, or anyone can come in and utilize the space. So they, like I said, don't have to buy like all these fancy machines and tools. And Paige is a Pepe Tools distributor. Yeah. So if anybody wants to work for Paige to get a disc cut or anything and everything, they got so much. So it's great.
Yeah, so just let me know. I met Pepe Tools when I was traveling with my regular job, and they're really nice people. So,
Paige, how do you work? Say somebody wants to come in and use the studio space for an evening. Do you charge an hourly fee? Do you charge a monthly fee? Do you give a discount if they come in like on a monthly basis, or how does that work?
All that.
all
that.
we've got like a bulk package that they can make an appointment with Pam or myself, and it's a discount for a bulk package. Or if they want to just pay by the hour, they can do that as well. And we're here to help them. You know, the classes would be a little bit different. It'd be kind of set up like how Genevieve does it and how metalsmiths do it.
Yeah, because you have an open studio time where they come in, or you have where if you start teaching, you just put them on the clock for the tutoring
Right.
intermittently, or is that like a lawyer does?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and they're priced accordingly. If you're gonna get one-on-one, it's gonna be priced differently than if you come in and use the studio.
With
Without help.
like open studio, right?
It's
This
a
is
brilliant
Sherry.
idea.
This is Sherry. I have a question. Are the studios rented month by month, or is there like a yearly thing? And do they sign like a lease form or something?
Yes, we have a lease form, and the minimum time frame is 6 months, and then it goes month to month. So as long as they want to stay. Sydney can't move out.
I mean, I think you kind of got me. Like I'm all, like it's just the best. I mean, I've had 2 other studio spaces and also space in my home. And I just like the most professional, well-equipped, safe, ventilation, everything. I just like lighting. There were always these variables that started to affect me. Like the first space I was at for 4 years, that was an industrial warehouse over in Kansas City. I just grew out of the space. I had an acquisition through a community partnership to teach girls and all teenagers in the community space. And I had these acquisitions to expand into casting because I did room casting and gravity casting with community teens. And so I had like, I'm ready to go forward with casting, and this, none of my spaces accommodated that. And so now this is my dream. And then Paige was like, guess what? And I'm like, oh my God, let me pinch myself. So it's just happened, and it's just
Keeps evolving.
yeah. So yeah, so the space is just amazing, and it was everything I had dreamed of. And obviously Paige was having, and Pam were having similar dreams. It kind of let me know a few years ago about it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was gonna be like this though. Like she blew me away. She was like, go big or go home. She went big. So
Next, we're putting in a coffee bar.
that's what Pam wants.
That's what I want.
Well, I have my son's girlfriend works at Ruby Jeans, so she could do juicing and everything, coming into a juice fest and coffee, and You want to have
See?
social distance.
You see how it just comes
Have
together?
have a little, the space upstairs, you know, you might as well utilize it. It's a huge yoga
We already have a
studio.
couch.
The couch, you have a bar, there's beautiful countertops for a whole, could be a whole event once we can get out of
There's a gallery
lockdown.
up there. Perfect. All gonna come together.
Will you have a space for the public to come in and view and purchase jewelry?
Yes, what we would do is set it up here in the community room. And, you know, each of us have our own different styles of jewelry and teach, you know, different, types of projects. I love enameling. That's probably my favorite. And then casting is right there too. So yes, we're gonna do trunk shows, and when COVID's over.
Open house,
Open house.
maybe by appointment, if people want to come see the space. And
I wanted to have an open house party, but nobody was jumping at the bit to come. So we're putting that on hold until COVID is over.
And we'll probably have to do some live demo stuff too,
Mhm.
so, but again, soon,
Yeah.
6 months to a year.
That's exciting. It's all going to happen.
I would say you've done a lot.
Since March? Oh my gosh.
It's very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Oh, thank you. I would love to host, you know, visiting artists for the Metalsmiths if you guys ever want me to do that, since the space is big.
Yeah, we
So,
can plan a field trip when the time is right. We'll do a field
Yeah.
trip. We're all dying to get out of here, so we'd love to come to Kansas City. It's just we're waiting for COVID to subside.
Yeah, we're just Interstate 7.
That's true. My brother used to live in Kansas City, and so yeah, I used
Dropped
to
me
go there
again.
regularly.
Well, we'd love to have you guys come.
Well, we'll plan on it. I mean, we'll just figure out what the COVID situation is, and then we'll just plan a field trip.
I think you guys have been locked down worse than we have in Kansas, and Missouri downtown is locked up, but I think you guys have gotten locked out a lot worse than we have.
You never know. At different places, it's just totally different, even in the same state.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I live in St. Charles and it's a free for all. So
It's the wild country, you
That's
know.
good.
That's-
Yeah, some places don't even have where, like, they're like, we have the right to choose.
Mhm.
I'm like, can you just wear a mask when you make my food? I understand, but yeah, I'm like, better safe than sorry. And I feel like now I have, where everyone I know where it's gone through families, like one person
Yeah.
didn't make it, and
Mhm.
it's just really scary. So, yeah. And then some people are like, oh, I had it, it was nothing. I'm like, yeah, but tell that to the person that they lost their family. So, I'm sorry.
Very.
I miss you guys.
Thank you for sharing your space with us.
Yes, it was quite a treat. It's so exciting to know that this is happening, you know, not far from us, and that things are happening in spite of COVID. I mean, you've had all this time, you were by yourselves, but you probably got a lot done. You know,
Not jewelry wise.
no, probably not jewelry wise, but
Yeah.
we really appreciate your sharing your
oh
space.
well.
Well, thank you.
As a founding member of Society of Midwest Metalsmiths, now Midwest Metalsmiths, we had always tried to find a way to reach out and branch out to areas where people weren't close by to have workshops and stuff and still be included within our group. So kudos to you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Good job, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're very excited for you.
Thank you.
We're gonna con Genevieve in doing a class here too.
I'm happy to come.
She'll be our visiting artist.
So has anybody really of this group, and I'll be obviously signing up tonight, because I've heard about it through the years through Genevieve, and But how is anybody, are you all teaching like Zoom classes?
Not yet.
No one is? Is
Not yet.
anybody in the group done the live Zoom or Zoom workshops?
There are teachers.
Because I know that I've heard where people are like, you get sent a tool. So I've been affiliated more as a volunteer and not so much lately. But the veterans, I helped develop like online courses. So we would send, I developed the toolkits for this Veterans Association here in town called After Action Network. And Joey Williams is the founder. Art basically saved his life. He was injured. He was a Marine, and he started all these classes. So I've been working with him to sort of develop sculpture and metals, and they just acquired a new building, but then COVID's hit. So we wanted to reach out to veterans because it was so isolated. So I helped, and we're teaching, and we worked with some artists with the Art Institute and other connections that Joey has because he went to the Art Institute here, Kansas City Art Institute. But he's doing like to help veterans. Even now, it's even harder with isolation. Suicide rates are going up, and I know college students. They said, someone told me that college students suicide rate is just way up now, and they just aren't adapting well. But they're doing like Zoom workshops with veterans, and we actually send them a little toolkit, and you do the workshop. You know, obviously it's modified for a home thing, whether it's drawing, painting. There's some simple metalwork stuff we all know that we can teach, like sawing and decorative charms, stuff like that. But did anybody in this group know of anyone doing that? And I know there's tons of stuff for college professors doing everything online. I did 25 demonstrations this summer to teach the online metals course through the college, and it was exhausting.
Well, Robert and I are the workshop committee for the Midwest Metalsmits, and I have been working to get instructors to teach, but nobody's teaching in person. Everything's going to be a virtual.
Oh, so you
workshop.
are going to do it? Okay, so
We
you're
are,
already
and so
launching.
we've got somebody lined up for July, and we have somebody lined up for next year. But it's hard to get. They're still learning. The instructors are learning how to do the whole Zoom thing and teach and everything. And our plan here at Midwest Metalsmiths is to get our membership involved to do short little demos, or maybe a 30-minute demonstration to show what they do, and then maybe have some sort of workshop. But this has been a process.
I know the learning curve is vicious. Like it about killed me this summer, and I broke my ankle, so I was like indoors wobbling and in pain. But I was, just trying to learn the platform and the iTeach program for the school to try to launch. It's exhausting, but like, so if you want help, I've been teaching Zoom online.
Right. Yes.
And doing Zoom meetings and how to share a screen and how you do your demo, but and also like I'll take pictures and images and share that. And it can be a little frustrating because again, I know like if you don't have a good internet situation, you keep getting knocked out. There's the dog barking or like people cutting down a tree, and you're like, I'm trying to teach live, So this space here is ideal for that because we can control the environment and the variables. So, or I know you have your space that is allowable to do that, or satellite. We're going to have to do, we did a lot of visiting artists and demos through the college because we have a visiting artist program. And so every area, I know Jenny did one a few years ago with Chasing a Representative, but we do it online now and on Zoom, and we do the whole demo and students are there, and it's just the same thing. It's been painful, but it's really where it's going, and it will stay part of my classes. I didn't want to do it. It's like I just want to go in and teach, and it's like it forced me to grow. So
Barbara Miner, she does enameling, very well-known name. She started doing workshops through Poskin Arts, where Marlene True runs the art center there, and Barbara's been doing back-to-back enameling workshops. And then a lot of the big name artists started doing their own workshops. The Metal Museum in Memphis, they put together kits for kids, and you can order the kits, and then they have Zoom session times on how to assemble the pieces.
And
Yeah, that's
Dan Harrell
and
has
my
done,
Barbara Minor actually, I think it was like 2007. She was our visiting artist at the college for the Kansas Artist Craftsmen's Association. So I know her personally. She came and did the workshops and enameling and everything. It was so amazing. So
and
yeah, that's
Jan
I'll have to
Harrell-
talk more about what she's doing. Yeah, that sounds like maybe take some notes from her. So thank you for sharing that. Because I think that would be kind of a untapped opportunity to connect to people and other metalsmiths. I love your idea, Jenny, of doing like 30-minute
Yes.
artist demos that we all share.
Exactly.
You know, and then we have it to, I don't know if you put them on the site, your website afterwards, or that would be a really wonderful way to connect to people and say kind of like, here's what I made and this is my process. And
Well, and
little
the
part of
whole
it.
idea of being online or virtual like this was to keep our membership involved. And, ask them to show what they do and we can all be involved in it.
I love
Still
that.
have
Yeah,
community.
that's wonderful. I'd love to help or be a part of that, and then we'd all like that. So,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, really.
Well,
wonderful. I love your idea.
we've been talking about building a library of just techniques. So that's where we would do that draw from. And if you want to do one, we would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is
do like one of the mold baking ones or
Mhm.
something.
That'd be great.
There's
Well,
a
just jibber jabber to me and Robert. and we'll
Yeah,
get it
because I
together.
have to make some molds, and I'm teaching a special topics in casting class at Johnson County Community College right now. So I've got to do a mold making thing, so they'd love it if I put it up too, so
Yeah.
they could go back on it. And I also have like a worksheet page with color images that I did for like them to take with them. So that might be like a fun one to
Yeah.
do. So yeah, could do that.
Great.
Gotta make a mold and stuff. So I've got some of my own stuff to finally do maybe. So yeah, I'll hit you up
Okay, good.
and you can share.
I will.
Thank you.
Mhm.
This has been great hearing about everything you do and all the things you're planning to do. We're loving it because one thing builds on another and it keeps the artists going. And so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also,
We'll promote you
I'm
from
gonna-
here.
I'll put everything up on our website. I'll download the recording tomorrow, and it will also be on our YouTube channel. So if you want to direct people there so they can see your facility, that might be a good vehicle for you.
Great. Thank you. That'd be neat.
We have a 7-minute casting video of our first casting we did here. I don't know if anyone's interested in having that to share or anything. That Paige and I
It could
did
be
with that one client.
It could be the first thing in our library.
Yes.
Okay, just to kind of show the process, and she wanted to document it, so we could put it in just so people can really see like live centrifugal casting.
Catherine, would they email that video to you, or how do you want to work this?
They could put it in Dropbox.
Okay,
And invite her.
and then, okay,
Yeah,
I'll figure out how to do
Just,
that.
just send it to my email address.
Okay, I'll get it.
I'll get it.
Jenny, I'll get it. Okay,
I'll help her.
perfect. We'll look at it and.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me make sure I don't look like deformed or something, but no, we can edit that out, so.
You guys will laugh. This is dress up for me. I've been in a t-shirt and jeans for the last almost a year now.
Yeah.
So,
I know the
the
feeling.
last 6 months for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is my normal.
Yeah.
Clothes anyway for students.
Well, is there any other questions?
No, it's just fascinating to hear about it. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, this is fun.
Well, we look forward to seeing the next Zoom video for someone else's studio as well.
Well, you're definitely invited. Yeah, again soon.
Well, and go look at the ones on the website now. We've got 3 up now.
Oh, you do have 3 of them up on your site? Okay.
Yeah.
cool. Love to see.
Yeah,
Practicing.
We'll get better and better.
This will be good and everybody will love it. And we'll cross promote you. I mean, because I issued, an email with all the information on it. So people, even if they weren't able to attend, can check in later and see it.
Oh, great.
And that's what the library is for, is so, well, what happened that night? I couldn't go. So very much.
I think we're ready to rock and roll.
Thank
Okay,
you,
well,
everyone.
Genevieve, thank you very much.
Hey.
P2 Studio, we want to see more of you in the future, and everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
bye, Paige.
Go be creative.
I can go fix dinner.
Yeah, dinner.